Alrighty-roo, and all shoot to you, and all my nobodies not watching out there. Everyone who loves a hot, crisp crust. Oh, my saucy little minxes. Bony boys. I'm sorry, I fucking love Brendan Lee Mulligan. He's amazing. Amazing, man. We're gonna move on. There's no more for... I had to rewatch the Hot Topic trophy thing. It's amazing. Just I don't know what I have a reason. I don't need to justify myself to myself. I don't owe me anything. We're gonna move on. Back to, so we want to stick to this guy. I was really hoping that one guy, Sam, would end up with Rebecca. That didn't happen. I guess we'll work backwards. You know, we'll memento it. Spoilers? Look, if you haven't seen Memento, it's not gonna sort of changes things. Like, you're still not gonna get it. Like, whatever, man. There's other movies that do that. I like spoilers so many movies, but it's like, if you haven't seen it, you're not, then you should see it, and I doubt what I say is going to really spoilers it. Let's see, what's, she said she just, like, who am I getting rid of next? I figured I want him to win, unless there's a reason not to. So let's continue on with him. Just, I don't know, because he lost last time, just to see if it's different. And actually, I like Alexis next, the best, but there's absolutely zero reason for her to win. Like, it's like, girl, you're gonna be fine. Like, you don't need this. Get out of the way. It's like, get out of line. Like, let somebody else win. You don't need this. This shit. You already just, that doesn't make any sense. You're fine. What would you do with the money, my guy?
What would you do with the money?
What would you do?
My ex-wife would probably get most of it.
Ah,
She's
fuck.
supposed to get half my income, but the judge hates me, so she always gets the bigger half.
Wait, what?
If I got money, I'd pay off my credit cards, finish paying off my bike.
Do you mean like 60-40?
Some money in the bank.
Because half is half. The only way that half couldn't be half is if before taxes half. You know, it's like, oh, well, she gets half prior to taxes, then you get the remainder. And hers isn't taxed. You pay that tax. I guess that's how that would work. That would be a manner in which, you know, she gets the bigger half, but half is half. Like, you know, there's what was it? I think it was King Solomon. Or it's like was it Solomon? I don't know. Solution is, the concept is, you know, you have two people that want to split something. Well, actually, we're not going to go with the Bible version because it gets dark. But generally, the idea is you get two people that are splitting something. One person breaks it, whatever it is, in half, assuming it's one of those things that's how it works. I want the ones. No, it's ones and zeros. It's not something I could just... It's not actual fabric. It's like, it's ones and zeros. Well, then I want the ones. No, I want the ones. Fuck you. Wait, no. I'm dissolving this party. My sweet little leather, my sweet coat begs to differ. Anyway, one person breaks the thing in half, if that's an option, and that's how it works. And then the other person chooses which side they want. And I think that's a classic, fair way, again, assuming it's, you know, not like a child or something, or ones and zeros, or some other thing that isn't, you know, it's a physical thing. You get it. Let's see. Let's see what kind of person you are. Just continue to do that.
What is the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
I stabbed a guy once and left him for dead.
Man, dude, for years, my friend John used to sell my friend Keith weed.
Of course, you know both of John.
Kale. Like, he would sell him kale instead of weed.
Actual kale.
And yeah, Keith didn't know. Like, for years, I was watching Keith like pack bongs with kale, and that wasn't working. So then he would like make kale brownies, and he had no idea.
For years?
And yeah, I should have told him, but it was just too funny.
Kale. I've eaten kale, and in the right circumstances, like a lot of people hate against kale, but I like kale under the right circumstances. It goes very well in certain soups. Very, very, very well in certain soups and certain whatever. Anyway, it's good for you. It's good for you! Better than sauerkraut, I assume. I don't know. Big bowl of sauerkraut every single morning. I'm good. I don't need that in my life. It would be driving me crazy. Anyway. It's just fresh kale. It's too chlorophyll-y. Like, what the? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, you really have to work to burn it. It's a leafy green. Like, it's... does this guy take the time and effort to dry it for the joke? And even then, when it doesn't dry like other such mentioned thing. It just gets all spinachy, like, and sad. Like, I actually prefer spinach. I like spinach, but no. I mean, I guess that doesn't sound true, but okay. There's like usually that's oregano or something like that. Like, people have been arrested for oregano, like stuff like that. All right. How about, have you cheated?
Have you ever cheated on anyone?
Only my
Have I ever
ex-wife.
cheated? In my entire life, like, cheated? Of course I have. Who hasn't? I mean, everyone cheats. Cheated on bi girls. I've cheated on girls. That's just life, man. Everyone cheats.
I figured that's what you would say. That doesn't surprise me at all. How about the embarrassing guilty pleasure?
What is your most
He's like
embarrassing...
being cheated on while I
love that.
attempt to smoke kale.
You know, movies that are so bad that then they're good.
It's
It's
cut
just
kaling.
so entertaining.
Oh
how
my
bad they
God,
are.
no, that's so
Sharknado.
horrible.
That shit sucks, but it's good, you know.
Oh my
Or
God.
like,
I'm
what does
sad
the
now.
fox say? Oh, that's a song.
Pew, pew, pew,
You know, it's so
pew, pew,
bad that I
pew.
like that song. You know, stuff like that. Bad things become good things for me.
Man, you're making me like you. Fuck you. Cause like, I do love me some bad movies. I said that in the last playthrough. Like, I like me some bad movies. And I do enjoy some music that people fucking hate. Like, they're just like, that is the worst music. Don't. And I'm just like, tis. Foxtrot, uniform, Charlie. It's like, fuck you. It's catchy. I like it. I don't know. Like, and that's no hate against them, but that's an example of what is like. I also, you know, Magnets, how they were. It's like, there's a lot of bands that I'm like, a lot of people don't take that seriously, and some people take it very seriously, especially in the Dark Carnival sense. But intergalactic, planetary, like, I still listen to that shit more frequently than I listen to some of my actual top bands, because I just like it. I get in the mood and I want to hear it. Is it a guilty pleasure to people? I don't know. Music's weird. I like weird music. Weird, strange music. I like stuff that's whatever, man. And sometimes it's like, I don't care. Like, way back when I was a little bitty boy, just you know, in that place, living in the basement next to the Jerry's Bait Shop, you know the place. Well, back, you know, everything in life was just peachy. You know, like a lot of people think that's like, I think each thing has its own value. If you're, some of the best stuff I've ever heard doesn't get enough attention, and it's like, wow, that's some random band that is somebody that I met in real life that they made one album, and it just, you know, bands are hard to do and music's hard to get off the ground and stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's so much better than the vast majority of things you hear that's like real art, that's awesome, doesn't happen. And then sometimes you end up with whatever algorithmic trash, and then you get AI music and stuff, and that's a thing. Not bueno. But I also like nerdcore rap and all sorts of stuff that a lot of people would be like, wait, that's a thing? Like, I like weird music. I like weird stuff. You know, like, you might be. Well, it's like, as long as I can form the head, you know? Whatever. No, I already know his unusual talent. Let's just. I'm trying to figure out your. As a person, what's your unpopular opinion?
What is your most controversial or
I think I already know this
unpopular
one.
opinion?
I think more people should ride motorcycles. Motorcycles are sweet, dude. Like, oh, people like their hybrid cars. They only get 50 miles per gallon. Motorcycles get that kind of mileage.
I
They're
mean,
cool.
they get better
No
than that.
traffic, and they cost like a fraction of
Yes,
the price
they're-
of a car.
they're-
$5,000 for a bike, and that's a good one, dude. Yeah, bikes are sweet. Easy to find parking too. Wherever, whenever.
Kinda. I'm not. I kind of support and don't support that concept. I agree with what you're saying, and I think if more people did this, the point I'm about to make would be less relevant. But the statistical fact is within the first 2 years, 700 and, well, I guess it's 800 and something days. Usually the first year and a half, people who start riding a motorcycle, regardless of when they choose to start, almost certainly get into a often life-altering but life-threatening accident. Pretty serious. That's just like, that's how the insurance companies look at this thing. It's a statistical reality. Now, does that mean everyone? No, but it's like 65 to 75%, if not more. And some people are fine and they don't ever have it, and they ride motorcycles their entire life. A lot of times it's not because the motorcycle rider, it's because people can't fucking drive and they don't look out for motorcycles. So, you know, put the bumper sticker, look out for your motorcycles, riders, you know, and when you're a motorcycle rider, it's good to, you know, when you're a biker, hang out with another so that you can do the thing. Learn the ways to not get hit, and don't be that idiot that, you know, is doing stupid shit. You see all sorts of stuff that happens on, you know, you see YouTube, and there's like a guy's like riding a crotch rocket, and he's got a girl on the back, and she just falls off, and he looks back and he's just like, meh. And just like, dude, what the actual, he's like doing a wheelie, and she just, on the highway, she just goes back, and he just keeps going. I'm like, bro, I'm pretty sure that's freaking murder. Like, dude, what, no, evil, stop. And then there's times where people are just doing stupid shit, just like, and then you got that one cool one where the guy hits the back of the car, and his bike goes flying off, and it's probably fake, and he does like a friggin' like flip, and he like Spider-Mans onto a car, and he's just like, well, that turned out as best as it possibly could, and it's probably a fake move. It's probably from a movie, and I just don't know it. And then there's just a bunch of stuff where, you know, you see stuff over movies where some guy's just mad because there's some guy going through traffic that's just deadlocked, and he opens up his car door, and the motorcyclist just becomes like they've shot out of a cannonball, because they're not doing that. The reality is, motorcyclists do tend to, statistically within the first 2 years, year and a half or so, get into a pretty serious accident. And I've known pretty much everybody I know, and I'm knocking on wood because I don't want the people that I know or have known that I don't that this doesn't apply to. I don't want it to apply to them ever, because I don't want people to get hurt. But I know pretty much everybody I've ever known that rides a motorcycle has been in has been in a pretty significant accident, and been like, oh well, I would have died. Glad I wore my helmet, you know, or I got really lucky and flew into some bushes, or I was still conscious, so I rolled out of the way of that friggin' bus or whatever. Like, real bad stuff. People who are like, oh yeah, no, I'll have to work for the next 6 months or more to make sure I can walk again. Shit like that. Or, oh wow, I really should have worn better protective clothing so that, you know, I don't have to have skin grafts. That sort of thing. And that's the reality. I think motorcycles are great. I think they're better for the environment. They do get more miles per gallon. It's just people are assholes and don't drive very well, and they walk around these land yachts, driving those things around. You got a friggin', you know, trad wife driving a friggin', you know, land yacht. She's 5 foot, maybe. Can't see over the friggin' thing, you know? And I'm not saying that women aren't good drivers. Actually, more women are better drivers than most men that I know, but in general. But it doesn't really matter if you're too small to see effectively. Because the thing the gas guzzler you choose is your vehicle, you know, because you just have to have, you know, your husband has to have matching cars, or you gotta have the dick envy or whatever. I just don't really support those vehicles in general, and it makes the world a more dangerous place for literally everyone else, and it's a very selfish and terrible thing to do, in my opinion, unless you have an actual reason. You know, you work in construction, you want to actually help everybody you know move, because you totally can, but you won't. You won't. And again, no one's listening, so it doesn't matter. I can say whatever the fuck I want. But if you do actually help people move, and you have a truck of any kind, you know, this is for you. Like, good for you. Like, seriously, I'm gonna stand up. Hold on, I gotta. Because you know what? That's a real friend. And I'm not gonna toot my own horn about how many people I've helped move or how many times I've moved and shit like that. It's good to do. People need that. And yeah, they can get moving companies and stuff, and moving's expensive already. Help your friends out. Care enough to pick them up from the airport, to take them to the airport, to help them move. If you're not willing to do those things, I don't know if they're really friends, but you know, people can define friendship however they do. I've met people where I'm like, they're like, I have no friends. It's like, you know so many people. It's like, but their bar for friendship is really high, and then people are like, oh, I've got like 1 billion friends, and it's just like, but their bar for friendship's really low, and it's like, I'm not really sure which one's better. I just think that if you're really friends, you should be willing to help them out if you can. But that's also why I maybe don't own a truck, because as much as I'd rather help them move, but I don't want to like be doing that for everybody, and also don't like what it does to the environment, and don't really need that and stuff like that. Just a thought. That's just me being judgmental for no reason, because nobody's listening, and I can say whatever the fuck I please. But yeah, like, look out for people riding on motorcycles, man. I don't think that's too much to ask. It'd be better if the world had less Humvees and land yachts and more motorcyclists, because it's just better. 100% better. No civilian needs a Humvee. And they really don't need these big Mac trucks for the most part. Some have every justifiable reason, you know, to. Some. Generally, not so much. That's just my hot take. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk and my most controversial, unpopular opinion, but it's not, because yeah, that's definitely not it. There's just that's one of many. Let's see, what else? We've already talked to you, sir. We've covered you. I guess we're probably gonna get rid of her next. What would you like to say? We've already talked to you. Let's just. I'm probably gonna. I have to get rid of you next, I think. I'm gonna do this one
What's the most
because I
serious law
remembered
you've ever
a thing here. Okay, so watch the subtitles. She says steaks, but it's a different type of
I
steaks.
used to have steaks flown in
Steaks.
from this place that I love in France.
Steaks,
I
as in
stopped
like
when I found
to
out
stab a
it was
vampire
Vietnamese.
with.
I don't know how serious of a crime
Are
that is, but
is your
I'm glad I never found out.
are you Alexis Van Helsing? Because it says steaks, as in like you have steaks in a thing, or a steak of wood, or that sort of thing. Not steaks as in a meat. I don't know. That bothered me when I saw the playthrough, and I forgot to mention it. Let's see. What's your unusual talent? I forgot.
What is your most unusual
I'm a really good cook. If I had to live
now I
in
remember.
old days where people had to cook their own meals, I could bake just fine.
Now I can't tell if she genuinely is, because of the manner that it doesn't go into too much details, or she just has like a super high amount of confidence because people just tell her that everybody's just a yes man around her. You know, I was watching a movie. I don't remember which one. I'm not going to spoiler it by saying what it is, but the girl was a piano. It's not even a spoiler. It doesn't even make sense. It was called Tone Deaf, and the girl was not a good piano player. That's not a spoiler. It's just a fact of the matter. She just wasn't very good at it, and she believed that she was, and that was kind of it was a political, whatever. It was sort of a statement about whatever. Not important. Check it out. It's an entertaining movie. It's fun. I like movies. Anyway. But she didn't know she was bad because everybody just kept telling her she was good. And that's possible here, but you don't get enough information to tell. Like, she might actually be it's like, oh yeah, no, I was raised by the nanny. The nanny can't watch me and cook my meals at the same time and is expected to cook 3-course meals. And when my parents weren't around, nanny put me to work, and so I know how to cook. I can cook like a 7-course meal. Like, I make creme brulee. You ever make a creme brulee, bitch? You know how hard it is to do? Like, I can make popovers. I can make creme brulee. It's like, she could. I don't know. I can see it. She's like, if I ever had to, I could totally, like, or maybe she's like, thinks she can, and it's just, you're too pretty to say, when, you know, that awkwardness when you make food for somebody and they're just like, yeah, no, it's good. Because it's that much harder if they're gorgeous or whatever. What do you do for a living? Let's just, yeah, that way I should have done that one last.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an Instagram model. I still live with my parents, but I can move out if I wanted to.
She's like, I have the money.
Our house is so big that I feel like it'd be a waste to move out.
I don't
I
even
have
see my
so
parents.
many empty rooms. I'm not even sure if I've seen them all.
See, the sad truth of that. Great. We'll come back to you just so I can feel better about sending you on your merry way. How long has this been going on? I don't know. I feel like we should finish her thing here. Let's just, if you could have any jobs, like,
If you could have any job, what would it
I want to design handbags and accessories.
You already could do that.
I've considered designing clothes, but I think accessories is my real passion.
I really think that's a realistic and smart goal. I don't know how difficult it is to get into the handbag accessories industry, but I get the feeling it's totally a achievable and logical thing, and probably way easier than designing clothes. You know, actually designing them and making them, not just being like, oh, I have a brand because I'm an Instagram person and I can, you know, I have merch. It's like, friggin' everybody's got merch. Like, you know, you can, you know, whatever tea shop and just, oh, you know, put up graphics and bam, boom, you could have merch. Or like, I could have merch. Like, I'm not going to, but I could. The thing is, yeah. But actually designing stuff is a thing, and I think that that's pretty cool. She could totally do that. You can do that. You'll be fine. What do I want to say? What is your childhood dream?
What was your childhood dream?
I'm a huge Disney fan. When I was growing up, all I ever wanted to do was date a prince and live happily ever after.
I mean, you got the look.
And I realized how unrealistic that fantasy is.
It is, but it also...
I've dated a prince, and they're not charming like in the movies.
Yeah, historically it doesn't actually work out. I think that's what I had to say about it last time. Not that they don't. They could be. It's just... princes ain't what they used to be. But it wasn't actually that great. Just generally, it was more like, hey, you're a piece of property. We're gonna purchase you, and our two kingdoms will now have a very good reason to not fight. Cool? Cool. I'm gonna have like a whole bunch of concubines and women on the side stuff, and there's a good chance you're gonna get beheaded depending on where we're at and that kingdoms and stuff. We could go back to war, but we'll probably have some kids together, and it's better than being a peasant, you know? You want to be a muckraker your entire life? I made myself sad. I'm gonna end this now.